Okay, let's give you guys some practice now. So in some of the early videos, I've shown you y equals x sine of x here. This graph would look like this. Y equals x looks like this. So when you come to sketch this graph, sketch it like this. So this is your sine. So this is a combination of the two. Okay, so it will look like this. Okay, so when you come to sketch it, just sketch it roughly like this, and then I also showed you y equals x squared sine of x. So when you come to sketch this, just roughly sketch it like this. So your y equals how y equals x squared will look like this. So when you come to sketch this here, just do it roughly. It will look something like this. And don't forget, this climbs a lot faster than your y equals x. Okay, it's just me. So your remember y equals x is a straight line here. X squared looks something like this. But I changed the scale here just so that we can illustrate it. But when you come to sketch it, just sketch it roughly like this will do. Okay. So now it's your turn. Sketch this. Y equals, don't forget, I could always say f of x here equals blah, blah, blah. Okay, so, well, anyway, y equals x squared, sorry, x to the power of 3 sine of x here. Remember, y equals x, it will be a straight line like this. X squared would be like this. It climbs a lot faster. Now, x to the power of 3 here, it would be even steeper. It would be something like this. It would be a lot steeper than y equals x and y equals x squared here. It would be a lot steeper. So, but then our diagram will look a bit silly. So let's just ignore the scale for the time being. So your graph of y equals x to the power of 3 will look something like this. Okay, so this is y equals x to the power of 3. Now just it should be like this. It should be something like this. But then our diagram will look silly. But let's for the time being, let's just say it's like this. And sketch this graph. Y equals x to the power 3 sine of x. Okay, so what will our graph look like? So press pause and have a go. Oops. So to do this here, so your graph here would look something like this. It will look something like just it will climb really fast. So it's like this. Okay, so this is your answer here, roughly speaking. The only hard part is this bit here. You're unsure. If you zoom into this bit here, let's zoom into here, just to see what's going on. So this is our normal remember, we are just going to zoom into the negative side, but between 0 and 360. So our sine of graph will look like this. Let's just say something like this, okay? The important part is negative at the negative 90 is negative. Now y equals x to the power 3. Let's just say it looks something like this. Hang on. I'm going to draw it like this time. So it's going to look something like this. Hang on. Let me draw it again. Okay. Yeah. Well, when you come to draw on the negative side, just take into account the negative sign. You see, at this point here, at negative 90 here, this here negative. So here you've got negative 90, and then so remember you're doing y equals x to the power 3 sine of x here. When x is negative 90, that when x here is negative 90, we are looking at this here. This here would be negative 1. So you can see that negative here, and then this bit here will be a negative big number, which is here. So a negative, let's just say negative big. Okay, so here you've got negative big times by this, so it would be a big, so big times 1 would be big, but then you've got a negative and a negative, so it would be a positive big. So rather than rather than you thinking that, oh, it gets moved to here, but it doesn't. It gets moved to the equivalent of this thing here, but being flipped on a positive side, if that makes sense. So here it would get flipped up to here. So when you come to sketch it, it will look like this up here, okay, and then this is 0. 0 will always remain at 0 here, okay, and then this bit here, this is your positive. Now when you put 2 minus 270 into here, this one here, the whole thing here, let me just clear this, hang on. Yeah, the only hard part is when it's on the negative side. Yeah, so negative 270 here, you put it into this block here. This block will then become positive 1. Okay, positive 1. And then negative 270, put it into here. It would become it would become, hang on, negative 270 to the power of 3 means times by itself 3 times. So really there are three negatives, so that will make it negative times a negative times a negative. That will give you a negative answer. Well, negative 270 to the power of 3 basically. But I'm just going to say negative big. Okay, so when you put negative 270 into this block here, this overall block here would be negative big. Okay, now look at this. Now negative big times 1 will be negative big equals negative big. So here, this point here will be, well, it will be down here somewhere. So it will, well, basically this point here will be down here. So your graph will look something like this. Hang on. It will look something like this, and then all the way down here, and then back to up here. So yeah, so it will look something like this, okay, on the negative side. Yeah, the point I'm trying to illustrate to you is that around here, you don't know the minute you enter the negative realm, you don't know whether to go down and then slowly like this, or whether to go up first and then do that. Well, you don't know this. Either to go down first and then do that, or do you go up first and then do that? Well, the only way you can find out is by analyzing it like this. Okay?